Hello, guys. It is live stream time. I am Becca Lori Hector, and I am here with Being Becca live. I am doing this weekly live stream where I kind of talk about the challenges and struggles of being an adult on the autism spectrum. And we kind of, as a little support group, come together once a week and we sort of talk about those struggles. I kind of give you my kind of take on it, what I've been going through, and then we sort of just kind of chit-chatted about in our chat over there and kind of walk through what our challenges are kind of facing life out here in the world while being on the spectrum. So, hey, Miriam, welcome you guys. I'm excited to see you guys. I have so much to talk about. So many things. I started to talk about it on Sunday if you caught Growing Gratitude, but I'm really going to talk about it today. I have to make some changes in my life. And I know you guys have been sort of watching the little path and me talking about spoon management and how I've been overextended and, you know, the opening of the food truck and all of that stuff. And I've also done a little bit of talking about some of my, or maybe not, I did it, I think I wrote about it in our group on Facebook, but I've been sort of disillusioned with the community and sort of my work within the autism community. And I'm not so passionate about that advocacy part as I used to be. And I'm much more interested in the stuff that I'm working on with you guys, the self-defined living, the personal development stuff for autistic adults that are alive today. So I'm also coming up to that time of year where I had like full steam into seasonal depression. So you guys, I have had to think about it. I've had to really work about my schedule, think about what I'm going to do about it, how I'm going to handle it, and kind of what I can do differently and better this year than all of the years previous. So if you guys remember way back in like March, I was talking about how my seasonal depression was finally lifting February and March, and how next year, which is right now, I wanted to remember to keep my schedule light because I would feel guilty for all the things that I had to cancel, but I can't help or control the seasonal depression. That's just part of my biological cycle of the year, right? And what I need to do instead this year was try to anticipate that it was coming and lighten my load in a response to it. And so I am doing that, you guys. I am attempting this as my way of seeing if this way works better, if this is a better way to address the seasonal depression, work with it, live with it, survive it, the whole deal. So this is my plan. I am keeping a certain list of things on my plate, and the rest of it I am letting go because I have to. I don't have spoons for me and my seasonal depression, the work I want to be doing with you guys, and the food truck. So some stuff's gotta go. So here's what I'm keeping. I'm keeping this. I'm going to keep our live stream, both of them actually. This one and Growing Gratitude I'm keeping. I am going to continue doing info dump files with Doug, and I am also starting a new adventure with Andrew Komoro where we are doing Two Autistics Talk Money that starts tomorrow afternoon, once a month. And so I'm going to keep that. And those things, if you don't watch them when they happen live, like the podcast I'll be putting up. I already put Info Dump up. It has its own playlist here on my YouTube channel. It's the behind the scenes of us recording it. And I will take the recording of Two Autistics and also be uploading that here. So you really don't have to go any further than my YouTube channel if you want to keep up with what I am doing. So that means I'm doing the 2 live streams, the 2 podcasty little other things that have replaced Neurodiversity Newsstand. So that's 4 things. I'm also going to hang on to the newsletter because I like writing it and I love sending it to you guys. So I'm going to hang on to the newsletter. And I'm hanging on to one client, just one client. And then my one-on-ones that I get from you guys, the coaching one-on-ones. And that's it, you guys. I need to take a break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so don't be sad, I'm going to preload all my social media on Buffer through November, December, and January. I'm going to do 3 months ahead, and I'm just going to fill it up with stuff so that something hits you guys once a day across my social media. And I am otherwise going to sort of step back from all the time that I spend on social media. I want to do some reading. I want to add some fun into my life to kind of balance out my kind of life and to balance out the seasonal depression. If I'm having so much depression, that means I need extra joy, and I get a lot of joy from reading for fun. And I haven't been able to do that for a long time. So in replacement of my social media, I am going to put a lot more reading for fun. Yes, Evie, it still sounds like a lot, I know, but if you think about it, I really broke it down. I made a list for myself. And so some of those things are only once a month, like the newsletter, and Two Autistics is only once a month. Info dump is only twice a month. And so the things that are really weekly are my live streams, and they really don't take any kind of real preparedness or anything. And since I no longer have to upload them because they're a live stream, they take even less energy. So I'm still wanting to be in touch with you guys. I'm still wanting to check in twice a week on a weekly basis with you and make sure we're following this journey. And of course, I will still be doing the course itself, Self-Defined Living, which is up now in its pre-recorded form, which you will be able to take throughout January, and from now till throughout January. And then probably come February, I'm going to start another live cycle of Self-Defined Living and kind of pick it back up again. But that's where my heart is. That's my passion project. That's the something I created from nothing for our community. And so I'm going to hang on to all of those pieces. But you guys, you have no idea how much that means I'm letting go. How I'm not doing podcast interviews, how I'm not doing any other consultant meetings, not doing any other networking meetings, not going to board meetings, not going to all this other stuff that is usually on my plate and that I'm working to eliminate for the sake of the food truck and for the sake of my sanity and well-being. So that's sort of what I'm doing, and I kind of wanted to let you guys know. So through the end of October, I'm going to keep running the same as I've been running. And then starting in November, I'm going to eliminate some of those things. So if you're really involved in the self-defined living stuff and that's what you watch me for, you won't be missing much. I'm keeping all of that stuff, the newsletter, the course, our live streams, the whole deal, our support group. But the other stuff, I'm sort of going to have to let go for a little bit, step away. So not so much time in newsstand and not so much time on the internet in general, because I know that that doesn't help with the depression. And so I need to step away from it. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Stevie. Stevie said, I love how you are so aware of your spoonage and model it first. Still working on this. Of course you are. I'm still working on it, right? Up until last year, I hadn't decided to address the spoon loss of the seasonal depression until this year. But I know that I need to, right? I figured out last year that there is no choice about it. I have to figure it out. And I'm doing it this year. And so I'm glad to be modeling that behavior for you, because I'm always going to be working on my spoon management for the rest of my life. I have to be working on my spoon management. So I'm going to clean up that plate a little bit for the next couple of months, lighten my load, see if I can't make it through a little bit easier with the depression this year. And I think also being on the food truck and being moving and working and not just a computer adjacent all the time will also help, or I'm hoping that it does. So that's my effort today. That's where I'm at in my own personal journey, my own path of self-defined living, and the things that I'm just gonna kind of lighten and what may or may not affect you. I'm not going to do any of those big grand announcements that everybody else does about leaving social media for a few months, or I'm taking a break or anything like that. So if you're not watching this live stream and you don't watch my live streams, you just probably won't notice, and you're not going to know, because I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I just need to step back for myself and to do that. But I still want to be doing this stuff because I literally do it every day anyway. It is part of the way that I live my life. And I want to be able to show you that through the good times and the bad times, not just the good times. So I will be doing that stuff. In any case, moving along, it is time to talk about our live stream topic. And our live stream topic comes to us straight from Ms. Jo. Ms. Jo, who says, what fun will you be planning in? Well, I'm starting with reading for fun. That is the first thing that I'm planning on adding in. And as I add things in, I will definitely update you on the fun that is being added in to kind of offset that depression, I promise. But we're going to do your topic first, Jo, which is being authentic in public. Right? How do we be our most authentic selves and stay aligned with who we are and who we want to be and the goals we want to live, while at the same time functioning out in the wild, right? So essentially, we're going to talk about demasking, the process of demasking out in the wild and what it's like, right? And what we can do to sort of help ourselves along in that journey. Now, some of it, you guys, takes time. Some of it is about confidence building. Some of it is about learning to love yourself enough that you're comfortable being yourself wherever you are, right? And loving yourself for all of your flaws. And you may be in a different part of that journey. You might not be quite ready to pull that Band-Aid entirely off. You might not yet have grown and healed and grown into your diagnosis enough to be ready to demask in public all the time yet. I certainly still mask in certain situations, but they're now choice situations that I am making the conscious choice to have to mask through because I know it's easier overall for me, right? It chooses less spoons. So let's talk about that, right? Because it can be difficult to do things like go to the store, to be at a party, to socialize, and all of that stuff when we are the way we are. And our, as you say, Joe, right, our rude bluntness, or what is our honesty, is seen as a bluntness that is not socially acceptable, right? And it often causes us trouble out in the world, right? Like, and so we often make it nice. We fluff it up, we make it pretty for the people that we're interacting with. So we add on to what would be our natural bluntness, extra work to make it softer and nicer for the people we're around. And that is part of the masking process, right? Now, neurotypicals are sensitive. When we are blunt with them, when we are direct, when we tell them the truth, they're not always ready for it. And they can't always handle it in its raw form. And so we somehow have to soften it, right? Sometimes there's a compliment that should precede our bluntness or something, right? And we work a lot at that for everybody else, right? We're doing all of that work for everybody else's comfort, while we are busy being uncomfortable. And so the goal of masking is to spend more time being comfortable for you and less time worrying about other people being uncomfortable. That's the crux of masking, right? That is what it is. It's when you get to the point where you love your bluntness enough that other people's sort of reaction to it doesn't matter as much, you'll be in a different place, right? But wherever you are right now, meet yourself where you are. If you are still not comfortable being fully unmasked in many situations, don't yet. You'll get there. You will get comfortable with yourself if you do the work, and then you will not want to mask anymore, right? But if you need to still use it in certain scenarios, by all means, use it. It's a coping mechanism that we have developed because it's kept us safe. And if you still need that safety, by all means, use your safety line, right? That's really honestly what I mean. So for example, I now do things as authentically as possible, as much of the time as possible, right? And yes, Joe, people will have their own reactions to it, but you got to let them be uncomfortable because they need to let you be comfortable. You deserve comfort for a change, right? So some of the scenarios I still mask in are the grocery store. Sometimes, most of the time when I go into like the bank and I'm doing chores and I have to run in and do little errands, definitely mask in those scenarios. Why? It uses less spoons than not masking in those scenarios. For me, in my experience, my personal challenges, right? My personal brand of autism, those particular scenarios. And so I still very much am aware that I go in and I mask, but you know what? Sometimes that masking script makes it easier for me to get through what is otherwise a challenging experience. And the supermarket is really anxiety for me, and it's really sensory overload for me. And so it's just easier to use a masking tool than to have to try to get into a full conversation about autism and what it is and what it isn't, and how you don't have to be non-speaking to have it, right? I just don't want to deal with that. And so I voluntarily and consciously choose to mask in those certain situations. However, when I am out socially, I no longer mask. Okay. I used to all the time for other people's comfort. I used to fill in the silences for them. I used to, check in and make sure everyone was feeling good. I was always trying to make everybody laugh and always trying to make sure everyone was having a good time and that I was the good supportive friend. And I never enjoyed a goddamn social experience in my life because I was too busy fucking working during my social experiences to even notice if I was having a good time. So what I've done is sort of reevaluate what I consider to be a good time and what I want to be a part of. And if I can't be socially authentic, then it means it's likely not a scenario that I really should be in, that I should probably excuse myself from, and that really won't make me comfortable in general. And those are the ones that I have to start saying no to. And those are the ones I do say no to. If I'm going to be so anxiety ridden that I will not enjoy my time, it is not worth the spoons to me anymore. And so I say no to those things a lot. But I say yes to the things that I enjoy, the time that I can be authentic and be myself with people, and not apologize for that in any way, shape, or form. And those people are the people I want in my bubble. Those are the people I want around. And those are the people I want to spend my spoons on. And so in that way, being my authentic self helps me weed out the socializations that are not for me. If I feel like I have to mask through it, I'm not doing it. And that's a choice I made for me in the way that I live my life. That may not be a choice that all of you can make. You may have to instead choose to do maybe less of the social occasions that you have to mask and more of the ones that you don't, right? You may want to start looking around for new friends, for new bubble people. But the process of demasking is a process. It isn't like taking off your jacket. You don't have your jacket on, jacket off, jacket on, jacket off. No, it doesn't happen with masking. Demasking is a process. You built up that habit over many, 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 many years. And to break down that habit is going to take a lot of years, right? So it's going to take you almost as long to unmask as it took you to learn that skill set. So be kind to yourself along the way, right? You don't have to rip the Band-Aid off and go cold turkey masking, right? That's craziness. We need it sometimes. And I'm telling you that neurotypicals use it a lot. They use it in the same scenarios we're talking about. Where they don't use it, that we use it, is in our family scenarios, in our relationships, in our friendships, right? They don't have to use it there. And that's what we should also strive for. Relationships, friendships, social occasions in which we don't feel the need, the pressure to mask, right? That's what we should be seeking for ourselves. Let's see, let me catch up over here. Right, exactly. The not enjoying it, the being so exhausted that we can't enjoy it. And yes, COVID has been, CV, a brilliant excuse to weed people out. It is your ticket to freedom. It is your 6 feet of distance from people who hug you. It is your ticket to not wanting to go someplace. It is all of those things. And people are suddenly, miraculously forgiving about this now. And so making those choices is imperative for your health. It's imperative for your mental health and your emotional health, because if you're not getting positives from your social interactions, then what the fuck is the point? If it's all work, what the fuck is the point? Why connect to people who have no desire to connect back with you? Why do that? And so that's what I want you to be asking yourself. Right. I've not been. Okay. So you're feeling that missing time. So Miriam's feeling the time away from people now. She know that she wasn't feeling before earlier. And I think many of us have just had enough of it. I've had enough of the restrictions on us and our ways of being. And that's true too. But if you know that about yourself, then you can seek out the people that you want to spend time with, right? You can seek out the ones worth your spoons and the activities that are worth your spoons. So I want you to introduce that concept into your life a little, and think about that when you're making choices about going places. How many spoons is this going to take? And make sure you're including in there, am I going to be using masking spoons? And should I be? Should I be saying yes to this thing, right? Is this event spoon worthy? Ask yourself that. Is this a spoon worthy event? That is the key to the spoon management around the social. It is also the key to the authenticity. And sometimes, remember, you guys, sometimes being authentic means saying nothing at all. It means just not participating in the conversations that you can't be your authentic self in. Sometimes it means just standing there and smiling and nodding and not participating, rather than being a hypocrite inside, right? You don't want to be hypocritical inside and not be in alignment, doing behaviors that aren't in alignment with who you want to be. So no response is absolutely a response. Don't forget that that's an option. All right, you guys, I myself am going to run out of spoons. I need to take a break and have some lunch before I have to go teach the youngins. It's my last day of class with them. So I'm going to go and have a good time with them, but I got to eat something first. So self-care comes before I can care for others. I'm going to go do that, you guys. I hope this kind of helped answer some of that question for you. Joe, I know that we will talk about it more. You're right. It could be weeks. So So keep sending me questions, you guys. Keep sending me topics for us to talk about here on Livestream, because I think they're important as we're hitting the challenge points, that we need to make sure we're addressing them, that we figure out a way around them, and that we're not just letting them keep us in inertia. And with that, you guys, I am going to go grab some lunch, teach some kids, and then help clean the food truck. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you on Sunday for Growing Gratitude, and I will see you elsewhere across the web out there. If you need me and you need me as a resource, feel free to email me at info@beccalaurie.com or make some comments in the comments. I love seeing your comments. Your thumbs up mean everything, your shares, all of it. It's a conversation we're having. It should never feel one way for us. If it does, I'm not going to do it no more. So with that, you guys, have a fantastic day. Create some joy, share some joy, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.